5. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Purdue White versus Adrian College. We're still getting the mat set up right now, but I am one of your two casters, Elliot,
I'm Viper.
and we're gonna give you some commentary and streaming for this match tonight. Um, Last week we were streaming for Purdue Sigma, and this week we're back with our lovely team Purdue White, and up against Adrian College. I think Adrian College is in Michigan. If when I looked last, they're a liberal arts college. Looks like in
Michigan.
in Michigan. I'm trying to see
Adrian,
where in
Michigan.
Michigan. Adrian,
Adrian,
Michigan. Okay, all
yeah.
right. That checks. Cool. Definitely, we'll have a good match today. I don't know much else about them, but we'll learn more as they come in. While everything is getting set up, Viper before the stream was starting was telling me you seem to know a lot about food safety, and I'm learning a lot of new things. And do you want to tell the viewers what you were telling me about ground beef that I
Yeah,
didn't know, and I
you
think other
should
people doesn't know?
you should always cook your burgers well done. I know it's not okay for steak. Like a lot of people are like, "No, I refuse to cook my steak well done." But you should always cook your burgers well done because like when you're grinding ground beef, it's like not a whole steak. It is like a mixture of like you have your whole steak, which are cuts, like cut in a hole. And so all of your bacteria is mainly on the surface of like whole meat cuts.
That makes sense.
But like
But
when
in
you
ground, it's
ground
all
up
get mixed
beef,
together.
it's mixed together. And so then you have like that E. coli that can also be lingering in the center.
Interesting. Okay.
It's such a wild thing. You should always cook it till at least one. I think it's 160 off top of my head. But yeah.
That's fascinating. So I definitely am someone that likes my steaks medium rare. I haven't eaten a lot of burgers, but I am pretty positive that I've eaten medium rare burgers before, and that's good to know that that is not the correct thing to do.
Yeah. Like with the steak, you can eat that medium rare. That is fine because it was a whole cut. But yeah. I don't know. Ground beef is like one of those weird animal products.
I feel like
And it's like,
people, yeah.
oh god.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like people think of beef as a very safe food, free of bacteria comparatively to like chicken and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like all meat in the US is like safe. It's just you need to cook it properly is pretty much like, and I feel like a lot of people just don't know or like aren't aware about like the whole burger thing.
Right.
I don't know. I love meat science. It's part of my like whole major, so it's a fun time.
That's really fair. I'm happy to get to learn some more about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking a little bit at the career profiles we're seeing on the enemy team. I see Excel and North seem to be their um,
Yeah.
top two ranked players. Excel being a High Masters tank, Reinhardt Orisa, um, a little bit of Sigma, and then North is a support player. It looks like for them, playing Kiriko, Ana, Lucio. And then the
They
rest
do
of the
have
team
some
seems to be
soldier.
like silver and to plat range. So yeah, well the North I think they listed as being a support player. Assuming
They
well,
might switch it around.
yeah, that's fair.
It seems like everybody on their team is ranked for everything, but so they might switch it around.
But yeah, usually you don't have teams that have this large of a rank range between the team, which probably means that this is the Adrian College's only Purdue, or sorry, only Purdue, only Overwatch team. So it's kind of a conglomeration of all the people that are curious of taking the club across the club itself, which checks out with the fact that they've got a coach and another substitute here.
Seems their mascot's a bulldog.
Yes, yeah, we've got their mascot for the viewers in the top right. It's like a bulldog with like a orange sweater that leans over an A for Adrian, which I think is pretty cute.
They have 1,673 students as of fall of 2024. So they're a small school.
How many students did you say?
About 1,600.
1,600. Wow, that is really small.
As of fall 2024.
That's crazy. Looks like our first map is going to be on Samoa. I really feel like one of these times these teams need to play Lijiang so that we don't look like idiots for saying on the first 2 weeks that every team plays Lijiang.
Yeah.
If you are watching this Purdue White after the game is over, you're not supposed to be watching it right now, but if you're watching this after the game's over, please pick Lijiang next time. It would mean a lot to me. I don't understand how to play all these other control maps, but you guys play Lijiang, I'll know what's happening.
Yeah, this seems to be looking at their website, this is their only Overwatch team. And it looks like some of them play actually Overwatch 2. One plays Street Fighter, and then one plays Super Smash Bros. As well for their college.
Sorry, did you say website? Do they have a website for their club?
For their esports, yep.
Oh, cool. We don't have a website, do we?
I don't think so.
Man, I feel like we should get a website. If they've got a website with how small their school is, we should get a website too.
Purdue Esports has a website, but it's like it has like the Alienware thing, and then like its main home, at least what I noticed.
Right. All right. So first bans that we're seeing from Purdue were an Arissa ban, and then from Adrian is an Ana ban.
I guess we do have Squelks who plays Ana from
yes,
time to time.
That's true. LTW plays a lot of dive tanks that are kind of get shut down by Arissa, so it makes sense since Excel seems to play Arissa and Reinhardt most. We want to shut down the Arissa of those two. Now we've got the bans and the map pick in. I assume our first map will be starting quite soon. Oh, that is not the right shot. There we go.
But yeah, as of Purdue Esports, we don't have like a roster for really anything. Like the only things like you can really find are like the fall 2024 rosters on ECAC.
Yeah, that back. Yeah, there's the Purdue club's website. I don't remember what that website's called, but that has all the different clubs across Purdue, and that one I think we have a page for. But
Boilerlink, yeah, Purdue Overwatch Club.
Yeah, Boilerlink. But I don't know. We should tell the club administrators to get on making us a website. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
We could tour it during the streams.
Yeah, they have some of their people's pictures and like where they're from and like a bio for them.
Okay, that's too cool. Hold on. Let me
and like it'll show like which teams they've been on in the past.
Adrian College Esports. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull up the or We're gonna
I
do
would
something.
recommend sorting by position.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get the scene to show up for the viewers. Display capture.
And it looks like it's literally on their like actual like sports page, like with their men's and women's sports, and like they have it like their inside athletics.
Okay, all
Left
right.
athletics. That's kind of cool though. They have a lot of like sports.
So sorry, I'm on the sports esports page. What am I looking for?
You want to sort. So on the bottom it'll say sort by position, because then you'll get like all your Overwatch players, all of your.
Hold on, I think I'm only seeing like I'm seeing like all the esports right now. How do I get to the Overwatch one?
Here, I'll send it. There's no specific Overwatch one. It's just
Oh,
a
okay.
whole page of all of them.
Roster.
But I'll send you that. Maybe that'll help. Ooh, starting on Samoa.
Oh yes.
Looks like we're on Volcano. I'm pretty sure this one is called Volcano. I'm slowly learning. With a Rhine, we have a Rhine. With a Kiriko, Moira. Oh, Doom. He says Rhine. Ooh, LTW rules going with a ball.
I don't think LTW is actually playing a ball. I think they're just doing this to.
I know, but like I'd love to see a ball.
Every match so far, we have kind of sat at the beginning as we wait for the game to naturally start after getting all of its players, and Mercy Gamer could have done that a little bit faster, but that's okay.
Dill pickle. That's
now they know.
funny.
Dill pickle. All right. So we're seeing LTW. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, it doesn't look like LTW wants to pull out that ball, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Back on
they do good
tried
on
and true Hazard.
Then we have Odekur on Reaper.
As always, looks like this is a pretty standard comp for our Purdue Whites. We're seeing a Ryan, Sojourn, Symmetra, Carrie, and Lucio on side of Adrian.
Oh, we're getting a Sombra on the side of Adrian now, though.
Okay.
I'm excited to see how this will work out.
Adrian's taking the high ground immediately. We saw some teams do this before, and it didn't always work too well for them. Purdue's going to go just towards holding that point. Excel's immediately going to start pushing in, gets walled off by the Hazard. Not enough damage doesn't come through on the Rhine yet. Excel is pushing, being very aggressive here, and but Amity is able to take that pressure and turn it around as they get a pick onto the Sombra. Odekur finds a pick onto Sojourn right afterwards on the side of Adrian. North on side of Adrian boops Odekur off the map after Odekur gets his pick. Looks like Purdue almost is able to cap, is able to get a wall onto the Reinhardt, and in that time is able to cap the point, but still hasn't won the fight just yet. Excel pins into the backline trying to find Mercy Gamer Girl, isn't able to find the pick, is able to get some damage off, but doesn't find himself fallen. LTW is a little bit estranged right now from the situation and does end up falling to that. Odekur is able to find a counter pick onto the enemy tank, dies in the process, but Chill is picked off as well. It's even right now, but both teams have gotten the same number of picks, but Purdue doesn't want to push in just yet.
We do have a swap from Juno to Wu Yang on the side of Purdue, which I think will help them a lot. They're more used to running Wu Yang with this comp.
Yes, that's definitely true. We see Excel get a pin charge onto Squelks, immediately followed by LTW and Odekur finding a pick onto the enemy supports. Excel pops his Shatter onto Purdue, but isn't able to find any picks in the process. Amity follows up with a pick onto Sombra and Sojourn on the side of Adrian. That's going to be a point cap for Purdue.
As the teams are coming back, we see Purdue pushing up. But we do see Adrian College taking the flanking route. Ooh.
Ooh, OW2 gets picked off by another charge from Excel. Excel's been finding a lot of charge picks with that. Squook popped Polari ult, followed by Lucio ult on the side of Adrian College. Excel is able to use that time to find a pick onto Amity Sojourn. Mercy Gamer Girl and Squelks fall right afterwards, and Purdue is going to lose their point cap.
Ooh, the team kill. We do see Dill switching back to Juno in this case. That Rhine is just really aggressive.
He is very aggressive. He's right. He's finding those pin picks, and then he's also really utilizing that speed from the Lucio. And Purdue's going to need to find a way to shut that down. EMP comes through on the side of Adrian College, and immediately followed up by Kiriko Rush to find picks instantaneously onto LTW and Squelks, and then a follow-up pick onto Mercy Gamer Girl. OW2 pops ult, does die in the process, but gets a pick as well, and Amity finds a pick onto enemy Sombra. If Purdue pushes fast here, I think they could be in an advantageous position, but they're going to need to really make the push quickly, and they're looking to do that. Hazard ult comes in as well as Sojourn ult on the side of Purdue. Shatter comes down but gets blocked by the Hazard Rock. Picks come through onto Excel and onto YT Lunar on the side of Adrian College, giving an advantage to Purdue and possibly a point cap unless Lucio is able to touch. No.
I will say this is quite a close match between the two.
Absolutely. Both teams are playing very well here.
I do think the Sombra getting in those hacks and then the Rhine being able to just full on pin has been helping them a lot on the side of Adrian College.
Absolutely. Excel's falling really low here as he tries to push in. Purdue isn't able to find the pick just yet. Sojourn ult gets popped on the side of Purdue, looking for picks onto the Sombra. Mercy Gamer Girl is able to finish off the Rhine, but not before OW2 gets pinned. LTW finds a pick onto YT Lunar on the side of Adrian College, followed up by Mercy Gamer Girl against the enemy Kiriko. That's going to look like a point cap for Purdue unless Excel and the Adrian College can do something crazy. But alas, that is a point win for Purdue.
I'm a little surprised about how that turned out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie here.
I felt like we were losing a lot, or Purdue was losing a lot of early picks to the Reinhardt pins, and so I'm impressed that Purdue was able to stabilize as they were. They kind of took those kills in stride, or those picks in stride, and didn't really let them let Adrian College get a lot of room, despite getting those pins. They usually were able to finish off the Rhine pretty quickly afterwards.
I think they also used the Rhine being very aggressive to their advantage there. But we're not seeing any different picks on either of the sides. So I'm
Both teams are confident.
See how this is going to go.
Rhine immediately pins into the front line, gets walled off by LTW. It falls very low, but Kiriko Suzu is able to keep him alive in the meantime. Has to fall into the middle of point. Amity finds a pick onto enemy Lucio, and OW2 is able to finish off that Rhine.
We see LTW chase down the Sombra.
Was the Sombra invisible during that kill? I thought the Sombra was fully invisible. That's quite an impressive headshot then. Amity has the detector. LTW finds just a random pick with his wall onto YT Lunar on the side of Adrian College. That's a huge stagger. OW2 in a 1v1 with enemy Sombra, and unfortunately loses that 1v1. Gonna be a great counter pick for Adrian. Adrian's looking to push to the side here. Tries to contest this point a little bit. Falls into the middle of point. Is able to find a pick onto Squelks. Excel's really far in here. I think Purdue can punish this. Yeah, Purdue is able to punish it, but unfortunately loses LTW in the process. OW2 trying to find some picks on his way out, but unfortunately dies. That's going to be a point cap for Adrian.
I do say Purdue went in. I think they just got a little too aggressive that last team fight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Squokes is knocking the Sombra out of invis out of nowhere. I didn't know Squokes better. I'd think he was wall hacking, but I know he's not. Excel finds a shatter onto 4, is immediately able to find a pick onto Odakur and Amity. Is able to finish off LTW and Squelks as well, and probably Mercy Gamer Girl's not getting out. Yeah, not getting out. But that was an insane shatter. Yeah. They only used 1 ult there too. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Purdue's coming up on almost all of their ults. LTW, LTW. Wow. Adrian College.
Find the pick onto the Sombra. Okay, Casino Rush gets popped on the side of Adrian. Ilario gets popped on the side of Purdue. Picks on both sides. Odakur falls to the Lucio. And then Squawks falls to the right. What happened to the Sojourn?
I don't know.
Did he fall off the map?
I didn't get to see it.
LTW pop hazard ult onto the enemy team. Unfortunately gets charged by Reinhardt immediately afterwards. Sombra and Lucio get picked off on the side of Adrian College. Somebody falls quite low. Another shatter comes through on the side of Adrian and is able to get that pick onto Sojourn. And I think that's gonna stabilize them.
I don't know. I'm sensing a really big ult from Odakur here. I don't know. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it.
She's feeling a blossom that Odakur won't die in. I've got full confidence. Come on, Odakur. Let's see it.
We believe in you.
Uh-oh. Lucio ult's gonna... Oh.
Oh.
I think Odakur might have hit a lag spike there. LTW is falling quite low. Yeah, I think you may have jinxed Odakur there, unfortunately.
I feel so bad.
Adrian College is able to find that second point through some very good ult usage at the beginning of that fight. That was a really good beat. I feel like Adrian College knew that kind of the only way that they were going to lose that is if a big DPS ult, i.e. Reaper Blossom, comes through on the side of Purdue, and they were able to just kind of beat early to avoid that happening.
I will say this match has been quite close.
It has.
Like, all these fights have been quite close.
Odakur is thinking about swapping onto Genji.
Ooh, we have switched to Zarya. And Metra.
Usually you don't want to play Zarya into a Reinhardt, so I'm interested what LTW is thinking here, but I've got faith. Looks like Adrian College is opting to go through the right side of point. They really like to go through the sides. They are not a front-on team. Adrian College is going to have that first cap with having full control at this point. LTW being on Zarya now doesn't really allow him to push as aggressively for space there, so that kind of makes sense. They're just going to kind of bide their time, building up energy, seeing if we can find that pick before pushing in. Sombra is harassing some people in the backline. Sorry, Sojourn was harassing some people in the backline, but ends up getting picked off. Excel falls low. Odakur has a bubble popped on him to keep him alive. This Reinhardt's falling quite low. Mercy Gamer Girl finds a pick onto enemy Kiriko. That's going to be 2 picks for the Purdue. Third pick comes through onto this Sombra, and then second to last pick comes through onto the Rhine. And that finishes off Adrian College, flipping the point for Purdue.
I do like the Zarya switch here. I will say the only thing I've really noticed with it is it has been a slow build to be able to get up her energy.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's Reinhardt's typically quite good into Zarya because he can just kind of choose to not swing at her whenever she's bubbled, and it's not really a big deal for him because he can slow down that fight with the shield. And he's kind of doing a good job of playing around LTW's bubbles right now. I think LTW might be in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, he's gonna fall. The Lucio beat gets popped to kind of keep the Reinhardt alive as he's pushing through that, and that's gonna be a point cap for Adrian.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think LTW did pick the perk in which if you use your secondary fire, you can build charge a little bit faster
Yes.
by 3.
Yes, exactly. That's a new perk that Zarya just got given, where whenever she gets a direct hit with her right click, she builds up charge that way, and so that's a good way to build up charge when a Rhine won't swing on you. We're gonna see a pick onto Amity at the beginning, followed by a counter pick onto Kiriko on the side of Adrian College. Cheddar comes through from Reinhardt, as well as the EMP from Adrian College, but Reinhardt ends up being the one that dies. LTW is able to get out with their I spoke too soon. Sorry, LTW. LTW gets finished off by the remainder of Adrian College, and that's going to be a fight win for Adrian. Only really one more fight is available if Adrian College wins this next one. Purdue's gonna have to find a way to touch and way to figure this out. Of the only person that can touch gets hacked. Might not be able to touch because of that fact. Okay, is able to get his TP back in time. Lots of ult gets popped. We see Sojourn ult, we see Kiriko ult, we see Ilaria ult, we see Reaper Blossom, unfortunately getting nobody. We see Grab comes through, finding 2, picking them off. Oh, this is quite close. LTW falls quite low, but is able to finish off the Reinhardt before dying. And Amity, Kiriko, and Zarya on the side of Purdue are left standing at the end of the ult festival.
Ooh, we have an Otakar switch to Genji.
Yes. This is kind of a dangerous territory for Purdue, because Purdue doesn't have any supports that have kind of an ultimate that really just shuts down things. And so if Adrian College is just able to build up those ultimates and just do a big ultimate fest, usually they're going to become the one coming out on top. Cell trying to find a pick onto LTW, just really playing around those bubbles. Squelks is getting harassed by the enemy Sombra. Amity is there to kind of clean that up. Squelks does fall, but Lucio, Kiriko from Adrian fall down as well. LTW gets picked off by the Reinhardt. It's a very scrappy fight from both sides. Sombra from Adrian just barely gets out with her life. Excel come through, almost was able to find a pin onto several people in the process, but can't find anything. Might be able to get the cap though. Right. Mr. Gamer Girl delays the cap slightly. Bucks gets solo shattered, immediately picked off. EMP comes through, and Lucio ult comes through, and I fear that's going to be cap and win for Adrian College. That is going to be the first map.
I'm sensing maybe a Rhine ban next.
I can absolutely see that.
Their Rhine mitigated 25,000 damage.
The Rhine. So in the very first map, the Rhine was just kind of finding charge pick after charge pick after charge pick, and like we have technical issue. Someone on Purdue needs to restart their PC real quick, so we'll have a little bit of a delay until the next map. But yeah, it's kind of tough when a Reinhardt's able to find that much value, and then even after the first point, Excel on Reinhardt from Adrian College was really able to just kind of survive for a really long time in Purdue's backline, getting a lot of great support from the Lucio and the Kiriko. Yeah. And so I think unless Purdue is able to really just pump some damage into Excel, they might need to pull out that Rhine. Really secure those points.
That Rhine did get a lot of good pins on that first map though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like mainly on, it looked like it was typically on Otakar or one of Purdue White supports, which was unfortunate each time.
Right. Okay. I've got the website up. I'm gonna pull it back up for the viewers. So yeah, it looks like they've got the games that they play, their name, what class they are, where they're from, sometimes images. We've got Benjamin Granesco from Midland, Michigan, the freshman. I don't know which of the players on with actually, well, okay, I was gonna say maybe Bang the Great was Benjamin.
Yeah.
You think so? Is that
I feel like
Benji the Great?
Benji the Great. Yeah,
Benji the
it's
yeah, yeah,
Benji the
that's
Great.
totally
Yeah.
him. That's totally him. I was thinking we wouldn't be able to identify them, but like at the very least, we know who Benji is.
Yeah.
That's a cool username. I like that. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like it was a decent first map. Both teams did a good job of pushing back and forth. It felt like that last point, Purdue really struggled compared to the other ones. I don't know that I like Zarya to Reinhardt. I think that Excel is really used to taking those tank duels and being able to win, and Zarya can't do that against him. And I felt like LTW was sorry. I think I said Excel is used to taking the tank duels. I meant LTW is used to taking the tank duels, and can't do that on Zarya, and was kind of falling victim to the ego duel complex in
Yeah.
that map a little bit.
Do we remember what tanks we typically see from LTW? I know Hazard.
Hazard is definitely top one. We've seen a Doom. Think we've seen some
Winston, I think we've seen.
Winston. Yeah, so just a lot of dive characters. I always think it's so interesting because the rest of white doesn't really play much dive for the
Yeah.
most part, besides maybe Mercy Gamer Girl has a couple supports that are good for dive. But other than that, it's really just LTW that's kind of running a dive tank on its own, and you don't typically see that too often, but they usually make it work pretty.
I was gonna say they're pretty successful with that.
Right, exactly. They I think that that Sojourn and Reaper are two DPS that I wouldn't consider to be dive DPS, but actually don't do that poorly in dive just because they're so mobile. So I think that that's kind of been White's strategy in a lot of these fights have just been to kind of use the heroes that everybody's good at and can work
Make it
decently well together. You called it. Purdue White has banned Reinhardt for the next map.
I'm trying to be at a prediction for the rest of the bans for the night. And I'm thinking they're gonna ban. Uh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Hazard, but like.
So I was gonna
I
actually
don't know.
say I think they would prefer to ban Hazard, but they can't ban Hazard because they can't ban a second
Yeah.
tank.
I just thought about that. Oh, Sojourn. That
That
was
does
my
make
second
sense.
choice.
Amity was putting in a lot of work Sojourn, especially onto chill on Sombra, so
Yeah.
it's not surprised me that they wanna take that ban.
Part of me was surprised about maybe not a Sombra ban. And like
I
just.
I feel like Welks is really good at being able to defend the backline on Lari, and I didn't really feel like Squelks seemed very scared of the Sombra. Um, if the backline was struggling more with the Sombra, or if Squelks was on like maybe on instead of a Lari, I think maybe we would see a Sombra ban. But I felt like Squelks was doing a really good job of defending that.
Yeah. I find it interesting that Chill played Sombra with only having 3 hours on Sombra.
He has 3 hours on Sombra on the scout.
9 hours on Hanzo.
This account doesn't have many hours on any hero. Maybe it's a newer account, but yeah, you're right. That is a little funny. I think technically you're not supposed to use Smurf accounts in this league, but we won't tell anyone.
It might
Except
not be.
all the people that are watching. You're right. It's possible it's not.
Yeah,
What's the rank of the chill account? Plat 5? I mean,
5-5.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say it could.
I thought Chill was
No,
talking to us
not
for a
based
second.
off. Not based off just like the competitive season history. Because like they went from gold 1 to plat 5 like last season, so
Okay,
they were gold 1, now they're plat 5.
so
I
they've
don't
got
know. I feel like,
a little bit of growth.
I mean, it could have been like what happened to me like a few months ago, in which I couldn't log into my account because
Oh.
I changed my phone number at a point in time, and I got locked out,
Uh-oh.
and then I had to fix it, and so then I had to make another account.
Oh. Overwatch has recently implemented a new system where occasionally, if there is swearing or some kind of a message that is deemed to be bad in some way, it will get hidden. Uh, Sometimes it's got a few false positives.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've seen it work for like a lot of things, but like a lot of things it actually won't censor. It's
Quite goofy.
ooh, we have a tracer diving the 2 supports.
I do see a tracer diving. Odakor is doing a good job of supporting Ana. Unfortunately, LCW gets picked off in the process. Amity is able to find a counter pick onto enemy tracer, but Odakor gets killed as well. Probably going to be a cap for Adrian. That tracer push in the backline did a lot there. It was kind of able to pull the attention from the Ana so that LTW was able to get picked off by Orisa. But Odakor immediately falls to the Hanzo eras. LTW is trying to hold for dear life, but unfortunately against the Orisa, it's not going to go very well. Is able to find a pick onto Ana, but Onyx Oynix? That's a weird name. I don't think it's Onyx, because I think Onyx is Onyx.
Oh yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Oynix?
the Hanzo on the side of Adrian College pops ult and is able to find 2 picks. And Chill cleans up Odakor as they are coming out of spawn.
See, I am personally fond of Tracer on this map.
There is a lot of good flanking routes for her. I definitely think that's something that Purdue's going to need to be aware of. LTW trying to push that on. It's almost able to find the pick, but it isn't able to finish it. Amity immediately finds the pick onto the tracer. That would have been a cool kill. I wish I had seen that. Hanzo on the side of Adrian College finds a pick onto Odakor, and Amity immediately finds the counter pick right back. Recapturing that fallen life. Excel has Nano put onto him, and from that is able to find a pick onto Amity, onto Squelks, and almost onto Mercy Gamer Girl, but Mercy Gamer Girl gets that with their life. Oh, I spoke too soon. Pulse Bomb gets placed onto Mercy Gamer Girl, and they fall as well. This is a really tough push for Purdue.
And it's normally one of Purdue's comfort maps.
Right.
I will say Purdue White is a better team at pushing, though, on this map is what I've noticed.
That's true.
They dominate when it comes to, like, pushing the payload.
Hanzo on Adrian College is able to find another pick onto Amity right at the beginning. Hazard ult and Alari ult gets combined and put onto the enemy backline, is able to find 2 picks immediately. LCW is falling quite low, but is doing a good job of holding down this point. Both Excel and Odakor get picked off by the Orisa and the Tracer, and then LTW falls right afterwards. That's going to be a point cap for Adrian College. Man, I felt like those were some good ult combo there. It's unfortunate that they lost that.
Yeah. They do still have Nano and Bob and Deadeye, so hopefully we can see Odakor get up on the platform and hopefully get a few picks with the Deadeye.
Right. Another Hanzo ult comes through and is able to find a pick onto Otakor. Somebody drops low and has to drop off the high ground. LTW is looking for an opening to and pushes in onto the Hanzo. Is able to push the Hanzo into a small room and finish him off. Bob comes out on the side of Purdue. Forces Adrian College back, but doesn't find a pick. Still on Tracer, attempts to make a flank, but Otakor is there to stop them. Gets picked off in the process as well. Sorry, what were you saying, Weber?
I feel like when you're playing, Bob always feels longer than he actually is. Like
that's totally true.
And it's like, I don't remember Bob, like the Bob being like there for that short of a time.
Right. It always seems longer when you're playing and actively trying to run from a Bob than when you're just watching it. Purdue's done a good job of kind of recapturing and holding this corner. Gonna need to watch their backs from that Tracer though. I am really worried about this Hanzo. It feels like the Hanzo is able to find a lot of early picks. Wu Yang all gets popped onto the Orisa, isn't able to stun anybody. Otakor pops Deadeye, but unfortunately immediately gets stunned out of it. Pulse Bomb does get put onto Otakor though, so at least it wasn't didn't get value onto someone else that wasn't gonna die. The Ana gets trapped by Hazard ult, and then Illari ult comes through as well. Isn't able to find anybody else. Still on Tracer, is still in the Purdue backline, causing them havoc. Nano gets pushed onto Hazard on LTW. The Hanzo on the side of Adrian College is really just taking that free high ground up there. Isn't able to find any picks with it. Hanzo from Adrian College popped ult. Is okay. The Hanzo got combined with the Orisa ult there to pull in Mercy Gamer Girl and LTW, and that's it's gonna get almost a team wipe for Adrian College. Amity is fighting for their life. LTW is going to come in for a last touch. Close Squelks. Driving with only Illari healing to keep them up. Unfortunately dies. Mercy Gamer Girl and Squelks are not going to be able to touch before the cap.
It was an unfortunate end.
Was an unfortunate end. I felt like Purdue was able to make a good defense once they got their bearings in that last point, but they just kept getting staggered over and over again prior to that, and so just kind of felt like the only good fights that we had there were in this last stretch, which is unfortunate, but not totally uncommon for this map because it kind of can feel very steamrolly up until that point when you get a much easier place to defend.
Yeah, I don't know. The best places that are like the hard, like either the easiest to hold or the hardest to hold, in my opinion, on this map, are like this gate can either be really great to hold or really horrible to hold, like at the beginning.
Yes.
And then that end. But like the middle section, I feel like is probably your hardest place.
Yeah, that's totally true. The middle section, there's so many different flank routes, and the other thing that should be noted is that the middle section actually has the same spawn room as the last section, and so the spawn times for defense players in the middle section is actually much longer than it is in the last section, and so that can also make it really hard to defend. We see a Widow coming out from Otakor. Well, okay, it wasn't gonna last long. They're topping off now, but the Dynamite comes down onto the Tracer on the side of Adrian College, forces the recall. Almost actually picked off that Tracer. LTW is going to push in onto the Wu Yang. In the process, though, Excel is able to find a pick onto Otakor and Squelks. LTW is in a good spot here, but unfortunately the rest of his team is not alive to kind of help support that. LTW does fall to the sleep.
That's gonna be a pretty big gap between spawns for Purdue.
Yeah, absolutely. Amity also gets picked off by enemy Cassidy immediately. Otakura was able to find a counter pick back though. I really like the brig from Mercy Gamer Girl here. I think it's going to really help against the Tracer. I may have spoke too soon as the Tracer finds a pick onto Otakura. Big Ante comes through onto Wu Yang and Orisa. Unfortunately, Purdue isn't close enough to capitalize on it. LCW placing down a wall just to kind of allow passage through. And that's going to allow most of Purdue to get through. Mercy Gamer Girl almost falls to the Wu Yang. Sleep comes through onto the Tracer. Amity's able to follow that up and finish off the Tracer for good. Wu Yang gets killed by Mercy Gamer Girl on Brig. Cassidy's falling quite low, and Otakura really wants to chase that kill. Is able to finish the kill, gets slept in the process, but LTW is there to save him. And that's going to be a point cap for Purdue. I felt like that was a really good push. There was a lot of really good individual plays from Purdue there.
I think LTW did great at making space, but I feel like this switch to we have the Ana Brig, like the classic Ana Brig, is really great for Purdue here.
Absolutely, it's a great way to defend against that Tracer.
Especially like if you're keeping your Ana with your Brig, then your Brig can just sit and heal a little bit, and then your Ana can just basically heal from the back, and your Brig will protect your Ana.
Purdue is kind of it's doing a good job of holding forward ground in this area. Unfortunately, Mercy Gamer Girl is going to fall to the Orisa. Nana gets popped onto Orisa, gets slept. Wall comes through to kind of help slow that push down, but unfortunately Squelch dies to the Tracer. W, I doubt, is going to be able to survive this. Oh, okay, LTW is able to kill the Tracer just by blocking, and Pulse Bomb comes out from the side of Adrian College and does not stick. That is going to be a really big pick and wasted ult for Adrian College, or for Purdue. Wu Yang ult and Deadeye gets popped on the Cassidy, and that's going to allow the Cassidy to walk forward without fear and finds a pick onto Otakura and almost onto LTW. The Cassidy on the side of Adrian College drops low, gets antied. Orisa's still in a good spot here, so we'll see if Purdue is able to take her out. LTW gets slept, antied, killed. Orisa ult comes through, but the Orisa gets melted down. Bob comes through from the side of Purdue. Purdue's gonna push with that Brig ult. That was a fantastic push from both teams, honestly. The Sombra gets dynamited and antied, and that's able to pick off Sombra on the side of Adrian. Right now, Purdue is actually both teams are currently fighting without a tank, vying for a little bit of space. LTW arrives back. LTW has blocked off my point of view. The Nano gets popped onto Otakura, who fades in and really wants a Blossom. He wants the Blossom. He's going for the Blossom. He gets anti and is able to find a pick, but doesn't die. Let's go, Otakura. And then the rest of the team is able to finish off Orisa on in the back while Otakura is doing his thing. Unfortunately, Hanzo does find a pick onto Squelch immediately afterwards, but Purdue has the space right now to just kind of get some cart progress in, so it's not a big deal at the moment. PW getting poked down. Only has Briggs for heals right now. Yeah, LTW drops quite low and doesn't have the Ana back yet, so has to fall back. Oh, unfortunately, the LTW drops to Adrian Hanzo, and a Maywall gets popped onto Otakura and forces him to stay in the fight where he dies. Amity and Squelch attempting to get out with their lives. Hanzo on Adrian College really wants to push this and almost dies for it. Doesn't get picked off, but got a little close there. Hanzo Storm, whatever it's called. Hanzo ult comes through on the side of Adrian College. So does Wu Yang ult comes through onto the Orisa, and that's able to stun out Otakura and finish the kill. Isn't able to get any more value than that, which is not a lot of value for two ults. Miwal comes through onto LTW, does block them off from the team, but isn't really able to capitalize on it. Purdue is just kind of biding their time until Otakura gets back. Bob gets popped. LTW jumps in, is able to separate the team, Hanzo on the side of Adrian College is really separated here. It does get picked by the hazard ult. Bob finds a pick onto Orisa, and Amity finds a pick onto, well, all the remaining players. That's going to be a team kill for Purdue.
Great push by Purdue there. But we are going into the final stretch with only 2 ults coming up on OW2's ult, but I don't think we might be able to get that in time. We do almost have 3 ults on the side of Adrian College, so.
Speaking of ults, one of those ults gets popped, 2 of those, 3 of those ults gets popped. We've seen Nano, we see Orisa ult, and we see Brig ult immediately come out. Orisa does fall despite being nanoed and ulting there. That's gonna mean big things for Purdue here. It's really just Ana and Hanzo on the side of Adrian College that have a chance at touching, and they aren't able to touch. And that's gonna be a cap for Purdue. With 1 minute and 21 seconds on the clock comparatively to Adrian College's 1 minute and 31 seconds. So
That was close.
I thought that was, I felt like Adrian College's push was really, really fast, and to see that Purdue got there with essentially the same amount of time is great. I kind of wasn't expecting Purdue to do as well on that attack there, but as you said earlier, Purdue does oftentimes feel like an attacking team.
Yeah. I am very interested to see how much is this 10 seconds going to make a difference for each team, though.
I imagine it's not going to make much of a difference. Usually a team fight altogether takes around 45 seconds. So any less than 30-second difference, I would say, is more or less meaningless. But you know, I could be proven wrong. We'll see what ends up happening.
We do have OW2 going on to the Widow again. Oh, never mind. It's like he's listening.
He was listening, and he was like, "Oh man, it didn't really work out that well for me last time. Maybe I'll just stay off of Widow."
Shake your head yes or no if you're listening.
He's not gonna respond to you anymore.
I know.
See similar picks from both teams' compositions. LTW does get walled off immediately. He's able to find a wall onto Hotel, but just gets out. Wants to play this slowly. Kind of waiting for that pick from Amity. Whoa, my goodness. Okay, Storm Arrow comes through onto LTW, and at the exact same time, May from Adrian is able to use her major perk, Deep Freeze, continuously hitting enemies with primary fire, freezes them for a short time, uses that perk to freeze LTW and stun them in place so that the Hanzo arrows can get those headshots. That's gonna be a really big pick and team fight win. Mercy Gamer Girl gets headshot, almost dies in the process. May really wants to get this wall, is able to find the wall onto Mercy Gamer Girl, and they're gonna be stranded out, unfortunately die. LTW was able to get out, but losing that Brig is gonna be really tough. OW2 is able to find a pick onto enemy Hanzo though. Follows up with a second pick onto Wu Yang, does get finished off by Chill. And North is able to find a pick onto Ash. If Purdue's able to touch here, I think this is winnable. Lucio's, I think, was able to touch there. Yeah, was able to touch. LTW does get slept. Probably going to die because Cloaks can't get an angle on them. And unfortunately, OW2 is able to touch still. But it's not going to be enough. Amity's not going to be able to touch that last, so. No ticks capped for Purdue, which means that this map can either end in a draw if Purdue is able to successfully fully defend the point, or it can end obviously in a win for Adrian College if they're able to get that first tick on attack.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this map end in a draw, but it'd be kind of excited to see it.
I haven't seen this specific map end in a draw. I've seen, oddly enough, I've drawn on Numbani several times. I don't know why Numbani is more of a draw map than anything. Maybe it's just because it's so easy to defend that first point, but yeah, it's certainly not impossible. The rules of this league get a little bit weird when you include draws, because it oftentimes means that you end up playing more maps than a normal amount, and that gets into some map types that we don't really ever see. like I don't quote me on this, but I think if we end up taking a draw here and teams are tied into the last map, that we go to Clash.
Really?
Yeah, which would be quite strange. For those that don't know, Clash is a Overwatch game mode that is generally pretty hated because it doesn't feel very balanced when you play it. Anyway,
It's also never seen in comp.
it is never seen in comp. So we're gonna see both teams. Oh, LTW is actually moving on to the Orisa here. May well come through onto the side of Adrian College, but isn't able to kind of fully cover up that choke. Excel is able to find a way over to the other side. LTW finds a pick onto Hanzo, though. Excel drops quite low, gets antied. Is really dropping low in this situation, but unfortunately, they can't find the pick. LTW drops low as well. Purdue's gonna kind of have to make their way back unless they can find a pick onto Excel here. Sombra on the side of Adrian College does have a good flank route going, and Mercy Gamer and Otaku are in really weird spots. Pack comes through onto Otaku. He's able to find a pick onto Otaku and Squelks. At the same time, Amity finds a pick onto Sombra, and LTW finds a pick onto enemy Hanzo. Mercy Gamer Girl gets picked off by Wu Ying. This isn't looking great for Purdue. Amity does have Ice Block to hold this point down, but as soon as the Ice Block ends, Purdue is quite far from being able to touch. Unfortunately, Excel is able to find a pick onto Otakur. Mercy Gamer Girl just barely is not able to touch in time, and that's going to be a point win, or a map win for Adrian College. Another play by Amity. Amity's been doing a great job, even though his main got banned.
I do love seeing like Ash play the games where it's not Bob doing everything. I feel like those ones are like a little rare sometimes.
Usually that's really fair. Usually the play of the games you see by Ash are just the Ash kind of pressing Q and then accidentally falling behind a wall and not actually seeing anybody for the rest of the game. But that during that time, Bob finds like 5 picks on the enemy team. So nice to see Amity hit some shots.
I saw an amazing skin concept the other day that I need to share. So like I don't know if you've watched K-pop Demon Hunters, but someone did Mira.
I love K-pop Demon Hunters.
I love it.
I think I saw
Bobby.
This. Yes, I saw that.
Your Ash.
Hold on, let me pull up that that concept for the viewers. Demon Hunters. What? You can find the skin picture, let me know, because I'm struggling to find it.
I think I sent it to my friend.
I think I found it. Yeah, Lauristar142 on Twitter, or now known as X. Me forecasting display. So this is the Ash skin that they created for Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. There is, I thought there was one for the one I'm looking at actually right now doesn't have Bob, which I think was the actual cool part of the skin.
I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yep. Copy the link. Hope this works. They even have a close-up of Bobby.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. So we've got Ash and we've got Bob and Bobby, which it is just super clever wording. Bobby is the agent manager. Thank you. I couldn't think of what the word it was for the K-pop Demon Hunters music group, and it just I love this. I also love the fact that in the movie, Bobby is like this super short, tiny guy, and the skin concept, because Bob obviously is not a super short, tiny guy, makes Bobby into this like massive, super muscular, um, robot dude, and I think that's just so funny. I think that makes it all the better. But and
I'd love
even
to
the
see
other,
that collab,
oh, it would be fantastic.
but I don't know if they'll give it to us because they did just do K-pop Demon Hunters just did do a collab with Fortnite. So I don't know if they'll ever do it with Overwatch, but we can hope.
We can hope. That's really fair. In that same concept art, they also had Kiriko as Zoe, and had her fox as the little blue demon cat thing.
I'm trying to think of I know the bird is Sussy. Let's see. I don't know what the cat's name is. I'm
I don't
gonna
know what
get
the cat's name
flamed for this.
is. And then they also had Rumi being Widowmaker, which I thought was clever. I feel like it looks the Rumi as Widowmaker looks a little scary. And I think of Rumi as a very fun character. So I don't know. Makes
Derpy.
his name is Derpy?
Yep, and the bird's name is Sussy.
Interesting. That's funny. I like it.
I don't know. I would love to see it because the Keurig. I know we don't. I know a lot of people are very against Kiriko getting more skins, but the Kiriko as Zoe it's just so perfect.
It is. It is a perfect collab between the two.
We do have Purdue picking Colosseo with a Lucio ban and a ban on Hazard by Adrian College.
I like the Lucio ban because I think the Lucio was what really enabled the Rhine in map 1 um to get so much value. And so because Purdue can't ban Rhine anymore, rather banning the Lucio is kind of a good way to make sure that, okay, even if Excel does play Rhine here, we know he's not going to be able to get as much value because he doesn't have that speed. He could have the speed from Juno, but that's not the same type and not the same consistency that you get from Lucio.
I don't know. I find it funny. I don't know if you like heard this or not, but like I heard a lot of things about people like whenever Juno came out, they're like, "Oh, Juno's gonna replace Lucio." I don't think you can replace Lucio. I feel like Juno and Lucio have like two completely separate kids.
They do. It is true that they are both speed, but the way that the two kits play is entirely different. In that Lucio provides a really good speed for a brawl team, a team that just kind of all wants to go in at once, and it just wants that constant speed and needs that speed to be up all the time. Whereas Juno gives a much better burst of speed, but just at one point in time, and so it's really good for dive compositions, for rush compositions. It's better for the compositions that are okay with having just a lot of speed at once and drops off quickly. And they're also very different in terms of their healing types and all that. So
Yeah, I know a lot of people were like, at least what I saw, a lot of people were nervous about that because like that's kind of the time where I started actually playing the game a little bit more.
was
Because
when
like I played a
Juno came out.
little, yeah, I played a little bit of Overwatch 1, like way back, like on my Xbox. Really didn't get it at the time, and I was like, yeah, I don't really like this game. And then my friend's like, no, you need to try this game again. And then I started actually really getting to it whenever like it would when Juno was being like kind of tested at first, and I was like, oh, I really like this character.
Yeah, no, she's a fun character to play. They recently had made a change where when you are kind of AD strafing in the air with Juno, during your gliding ability, that you're slower, and I felt like that really hurt her the whole. And I've been playing her less since then, but she's still a great character.
Yeah, we do see the same comp from last time, except for we have a Sigma and a Junk
Right.
on the side of Purdue.
Because of the fact that Hazard got banned, we're playing a Sigma from LTW instead, which I think is good. I think the Sigma against an Orisa is a lot better than trying to play Doomfist into Orisa or something else like that. So I like that, or the Winston even. Inti comes through onto Excel. Drops them quite low. They don't have Fortify, but Purdue isn't able to push in on that. But OW2 is able to find a pick onto Sojourn on the side of Adrian College.
See, I find junk to be just a fun time on this map.
That is absolutely true. OW2 does drop quite low as Excel tries to force them out. Both Orisa and Sombra are kind of in the Purdue backline and having an angle, but Orisa gets rocked and absolutely obliterated by Amity and the rest of the Purdue squadron. Mercy Gamer Girl is able to find a pick, and LTW follows up with a pick onto Wu Yang. All that's left is just Sojourn on the side of Adrian College. And when he finds the pick, it's kind of a stagger.
See, I think this comp is allowing Purdue to play a little bit slower, which is helping them a lot more.
Absolutely. That's the thing that Orisa is good at, is at forcing fast comps to play slow. So if Purdue is okay with playing slow, it means that Orisa isn't getting any value.
They did switch over to Zarya, though.
Right. They've recognized that, and they kind of have just kind of counter-swapped LTW. I wouldn't totally be surprised if LTW swapped back after this fight. Excel drops straight down into the middle of point. It immediately gets obliterated by OW2 and the rest of the squadron. I don't know what the thought process was there. LTW had gotten nanoed, wants to get some extra value from that, and Purdue was able to get that first cap. Nano comes through onto the Sombra. Purdue only has 2 players right now, and so they're going to fall to that nano. But, I mean, Purdue capped that first point. That's phenomenal push.
Great first push with 66 meters. Halfway.
Absolutely. That's like in the first minute of the game, too. Very fast push. We aren't going to see LTW swap just yet. He probably wants to get off that Gravitic Flux before he swaps.
Yeah. I do see him switching to Zarya to compete with the Zarya, though.
I could totally see that. LTW does fall to Excel there, and that's the kind of hard part about Zarya into Sigma, is that Zarya's really happy to just continue walking at you, and Sigma's only defensive ability at that point is just to use his whatever his hands ability is called, and that doesn't do anything against Zarya. Rock comes through. Does get bubbled. Go ahead.
That Singer Rock gave Zarya 38% charge from 0.
Oh, alright. So, Purdue's going to need to watch out for those Zaryas as she gets powered up a little bit. I do expect Zarya to be very powered up in this matchup, considering we have OW2 on Junkrat, who's just going to charge up Zarya like crazy, but he's going to do a good job at melting her down anyway. Amity finds a pick onto both Zarya and Sombra, and then follows up with a pick onto Ana. I feel like Amity just is destroying on this Sojourn.
10-1.
Doing a phenomenal job.
See, I like how Odeker is not letting the Zarya intimidate him.
Right. So Junkrat Tire gets popped. Sombra is able to kind of follow where the Junkrat came from and finish them off. But OW2 is able to find a pick onto Sojourn, followed up by a pick from Amity onto Excel, and then the grab comes through and finds 2 picks onto Purdue. Amity has Nano and Overclock gets popped on Amity, and that's able to help Amity to just completely flip the fight and get several picks onto Adrian. Unfortunately, they've only got 2 players left, and Adrian respawns fast, so I'm worried that they're not going to be able to hold this for long. But OW2 does come back, is able to help Squelch to kind of survive in this situation. Amity does fall to the Sojourn and Sombra. And OW2 is able to find a pick onto Wu Yang before falling to the Zarya. Squelch somehow gets that with their life.
Very big nade by Squelch there.
LTW dropping a little bit low, and so we're just going to be kind of... Okay, alright, so we got Gravitic Flux, we got Sojournaut, we got Nano coming through. A kill onto Zarya and onto Sombra, followed up by potentially a kill onto enemy Sojourn. Y2 Lunar, before they fall, though, does find a pick onto Mercy Gamer Girl. And when he finishes off the Ana, and OW2 is going to attempt to chase this Wu Yang. No, gives up. That's alright. Oh, it's quite the ult festival from both sides.
Purdue still does have 2 ults. Oh, a Rhine swap.
Swap. That's so. Adrian doesn't have speed anymore. We'll see if that ends up being an issue. But Ryan is very good into Sigma. Wu Yang and Lucio. Wu Yang and Brig ult gets popped. And he comes through onto the Reinhardt. Almost able to finish off the Reinhardt. Reinhardt has no shield. Does get finished off. May comes through. Gets finished off as well. There is still a Sojourn on the side of Adrian College behind Purdue at this moment. See if they... Oh no! They walked right into LTW and Amity, who were able to finish them off. And Purdue's going to get a lot of cart progress here.
Box is doing great at healing and then pushing that cart.
Absolutely. Wall comes through, is able to finish off OW2. LTW is going to attempt to kind of hold this room, but can't stay too close because of this Reinhardt. Because of that, is going to get finished off. The Gamer Girl's gonna attempt to get out with her life. Oh man, Squawks gets pinned. Those pins from Ryan are really gonna be an issue. And the Fire Strike from Excel finds Mercy Gamer Girl, and Amity decides best to just die here with that.
We'll say that Adrian College is playing really separated right now, with their 2 healers just. Oh, they only have 1 healer up with them, and 1 healer lingering in the back.
OW2 is going to get double dinked by Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure LTW just rocked the Rhine Shatter.
Yep.
I didn't see it happen, but I didn't see it. I just heard it. Kiriko Rush also gets popped from the side of Adrian College into a wall, so it gets basically no value. LTW has gotten the perk that allows him to just push the Reinhardt back, which I think is going to be really helpful in this process. Squawks unfortunately uses Sleep into Excel's shield. It's going to allow Excel to pick off the Ana as well. We're just going to try to recuperate here while poking from a distance. Purdue is going to have an opportunity to stop this short spawn, and that's what OW2 wants to do here. A rock comes through onto Reinhardt. Juno is able to finish off OW2 before they can get any value, and Ryan's really just chasing down LTW right now. LTW really doesn't want them to get that close spawn, and is going to drop for it. Unfortunately, dies in the process. Squelch does find a pick onto enemy Juno. LEW respawns. Yes, LTW respawns immediately because of that cap, though, so understandable to want to touch that. Reinhardt's going to push up, immediately finds a shatter onto OW2 and Squelch. Is able to finish off both of them, unfortunately. Blizzard comes through onto LTW and Amity. Amity's able to get out just barely. I spoke too soon. Amity, unfortunately, backed into a wall. Mercy Gamer Girl is able to get out with her life. But that's going to force a reset for Purdue. Lots of car progress here from Adrian College.
We did see 2 ults used by Adrian College, so Purdue still has all 5.
They do. Squawks finds a pick onto Kiriko. And Amity finds a pick onto enemy Sojourn. OW2 finds a pick onto Juno. The LTW gets pinned by Excel, but Brigalt gets popped to kind of help finish off the rest of the kills. Unfortunately, does fall to Excel, but is able to give enough armor and damage to finish off the team. It'll be a fight win for Purdue. I don't know if the Brigalt was necessary there. I feel like Purdue had enough people left, but it did help secure it.
They still are holding 4 ults, though. That's
true. They've got a lot to spare, so it wasn't a. You're right.
We saw OW2 trying to set up for a big blossom.
Gravitic Flux and Nano comes in. OW2 goes for that blossom you were talking about, died, unfortunately. Amity, Nano and Overclock gets popped onto Amity. Amity is able to find 1 pick on Juno, but that's not enough. Kiriko Rush gets popped. Right now, Squelch, LTW, and Mercy Gamer Girl attempting to hold on to this point a little longer to slow down that push. LTW does drop, and Excel really wants the rest of the kills. Shatters Mercy Gamer Girl and OW2 is able to finish off Squelch. Amity is able to find the pick onto Chill, and that's just a Sojourn 1v1. Amity does unfortunately fall.
We do see Narissa switch in the last few seconds. I still think Purdue can win this here.
Absolutely. Purdue's definitely got a chance. They've got some room to work with here. Orisa's really good at being able to hold points for long periods of time. We got a nade coming through onto LTW. Excel is really trying to force off this Orisa and really isn't excelling at doing much damage. Overclock gets popped from Adrian College, but isn't able to find anything. LTW's really got to stay on this point, does not have any room to work with. Amity gets picked off by a Fire Strike from Excel. The Blizzard comes through onto LTW, but LTW does have Fortify to stay alive with it. Mercy Gamer Girl gets shattered, however, and Squelks falls as well, and it's just LTW against the world. That's going to be a win both in the map and overall for Adrian College. What a comeback from Adrian College in the last point. Purdue did a phenomenal job pushing it at the beginning. I really thought that was
gonna be a win.
That was gonna go better for them, yeah.
These are very close matches for Purdue White, though, I will say.
That's absolutely true. Purdue White was doing a great job. Alright. That is going to be our esports map for the evening. Esports match for this evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. I think we will be back next week with probably another match from Purdue White. Anything you want to say before we go, Viper?
Nope. I'd enjoy the rest of your guys'